Hello, welcome back to home. I'm here. It's Chen. Usually we can relate to your user questions is remote and if anything still out questions, please get in touch with us and we'll be able to lead to the questions and get you in touch with the people. I think that today a very wide range of that we're looking at. Right. It should be fixed. What I would like to do now with you is to get a bit of feedback on the event, things that you reflect on what you've learned, what you're taking away from this. And for this, I'm sharing my screen with you with a new Mentimeter, where I would like to invite you to give your feedback and think about what was it exactly that you're looking forward to after today's event. What are you taking forward? And are looking forward to. Give you a moment for this to think about and get some ideas going. You see the link and the code on screen as well. And we will want this to be a standalone event. The second event is supposed to be a very much a starting point for future discussions. It was a continuation in many parts of what we have done before in the communities project, but it's just a step going forward. And we heard from many of the participants today, as well as from the speakers from the Commission and from the Parliament, that there's still a lot of work to be done and there's a lot to look forward to, initiatives and other aspects. And in that regard, we are very much looking forward to join hands with you and join forces with you as the audience. And yeah, what are your aspirations? What are you looking forward to? What would you like to also implement yourself, or where would you like to connect yourself in the future? That's the kind of elements we would like to hear from you now. And as the first elements are coming up on the screen, we see there are hopes for the digital and entrepreneurial competences to be used together more easily. They are both life skills and should be integrated more. The scaling is another, widespread scaling is another aspect that we look forward to, as well as students being encouraged to be creative and daring. There's a hope for having one set of competences that is combining all of these things we discussed today, and we haven't discussed all of the competence frameworks today, just as a subset of it, although we touched on more than just the tool when we look also at DigComp and LiveComp. The inclusiveness factor is cool. I think it's also something that came through in a lot of the presentations today, that there's a lot of work to be done to make these training provisions that are existing exclusive to reach everyone. And see a point of mainstreaming and all education systems, so a combination of non-formal and formal education, and to these separate projects that currently kind of existing as an add-on should also find connection to the more mainstream education system. I think that's something you can ascribe to. And it needs the support from institutions and the member states as well, and authorities in a wider sense. A point here that's being raised is to support candidates who are not that experienced or pre-experienced to secure employment and prepared professions. So I'm getting a foot in the door for these candidates very much a needed aspect. Also to continue improving knowledge and put it into action. We try to learn, we try to get into touch with each other and yeah, exchange knowledge and also spread the knowledge going forward. Again, forging synergies is a point that's being raised here. So to not try and work separately, but to take the lessons that we learned from some practices today and combine with other practices, and also to reach out and to work together to collaborate and forge a mutual path forward. Another point raised is the additional emphasis for children's inclusion. Again, shows the potential that is there, but also it's a potential that is not really fulfilled yet. There has been a lot of improvement in digital methods in the past years, but there's still a lot that we can progress and include. And again, I mentioned DigComp, that also should be included further and integrated further into our work, both for entrepreneurial and digital competence, and work with the specific competence frameworks to also create overlaps and yeah. All right, thank you very much for this. What you would now like to get is to formalize a bit more what you have shared with us. I'm sharing in chat with you now while I leave the impressions from the metadata on the screen. I think. Just 1 second. I would like you to head to this link. This is a survey that we have created in the and we would like to hear more substantive feedback from you. You have, when you register for the event, answer some questions on your current knowledge level of the different competence frameworks and also the practices that we were going to present. And I would like to hear is what have you taken from this event? Have you improved your knowledge? Are you looking at now differently? What has changed after you have attended this event? And while we are still waiting now for our last speaker for the closing to arrive, he's already in the room and setting up the last bits for him. Take a few minutes to look at this form and give us your responses so that we can also learn itself. We have heard it in some presentations before that events like this, although it wasn't necessarily a hackathon, we are also learning ourselves as hosts, as organizers, and I'm very aware that not necessarily everything went smoothly on the multiple sides for this event. But we also like to know from you beyond that other things, elements that you missed that you would like to see more, or make more, or again, future events, or because we try to learn, we're trying to get better at this, and also drawing lessons from the experience. Once again, I would also like to give a big thank you for all the partners that have been here today and presented their practices and have engaged you and your audiences and answered questions. But also a big thank you to you as the audience for being here, for paying attention, for giving the time and listening to what has been said. and also to contributing to your questions and for the interactions. That it was very well received. I'm very pleased now to welcome as for closing remarks Mr. Fulvio Ananasso. He is the president of Stati, Generali, dell'Innovazione from Italy. And Fulvio is available and can join us.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here, and I hand over to you.
Thank you, Norman. I hope that you can hear me well, because my audio was not perfect when you were speaking, but I hope that now the situation is better. If there is anything wrong, please inform me, and I will try to do something. I don't know if it's my responsibility of my network or not, but if you hear me correctly, I will proceed. So I've been asked to really to make a kind of not really conclusion, but some comments on what I have seen this morning. It's not a formal way of saying, but really I was a little impressed about the quality of and the variety of the argument items that were presented. So I was really very, very impressed, and I have just some comments about my experience. So I will share some comments in a kind of let me see if okay, can you see my presentation, my slides? Okay, I assume that everything okay. I go on. So the idea was, again, after this digital study visit, to make some comments on what is the relevance of the digital skills in this kind of entrepreneurial sector, which, as has been said even at the end, is really crucial, the digital competencies to modern entrepreneurship. So it's very, 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 very impressive to see the link between digitalization and entrepreneurship. And of course, I will make some comments on the basis of our specific activities at Stati, Generali, dell'Innovazione, which I let's say like to call a kind of innovation angel team for whatever is related to the digital transformation. So let me make some specific comment about what I've seen this morning. Just a few words about who I am. I'm an old guy with a lot of experience in telecommunication. Most of the people that I saw this morning were not even born when I started working. But okay, now I've made several things in both in private and public sector. I was director general of some companies of the Telecom Italia group, as well as the Italian regulatory body, which is DigComp, the authority for telecommunication. And then now I am advisor on digital economy, I'm mentor, innovation manager, I'm a president of this association, Stati Generali dell'Innovazione. What we are seeing out of those 8 presentation, again, most of the things that we have seen are more or less under our scope of interest. So I think, again, please accept just my general comment on what people could do in order to increase their chances of being successful with, let's say, digital competencies for entrepreneurship. So again, I'm not touching directly the topic, both because they were quite, let's say, really well treated, and even because I don't pretend to have any fixed idea about every single project, but to give some insight, some, let's say, expert view, if you allow me, helicopter view of what can be done in order to ensure a better chance of success in all those endeavors. So what? Just a few words about our association. We are a not-for-profit association born in 2011, and it's called Stati Generali, General State, just to remind the French Revolution, in which all the stakeholders were in a way represented. So whoever is in touch with or willing to do with innovation, quote unquote, is in our scope in our charter scope and mission. And the important thing is that we are not only STEM expert, but also humanistic. We have sociologists, philosophers, and so forth, because we think now that, for instance, things related to the ethics, especially think about artificial intelligence, ethics are very, very crucial. So we are putting together both technology, processes, and humanistic tools. For what concerns let's say, the technologies, we are doing substantially dealing with senior expertise in all the main items that we are now in our markets, and we are some working group and contract and projects part of funded by European Commission in blockchain, artificial intelligence, education. This is very important. We'll put some emphasis of our academy. As I said, ethics. We are quite active in geospatials. Whatever we are doing is subject to the location. So we are very, very expert in satellites and not only geographic and information systems and so forth. So we are just one mention to this idea that we are what is our let's say, where we are standing. To us, if we think about kind of let's say endeavor in innovation, we are passing so substantially. We need research, both basic and applied, and then we need to pass to the product. In general, this is the university is very much keen about the first part, the left part, whilst the industry is most for the right part. Well, there is the need for some dialogue, and we are trying to put ourselves in that specific area. So we really try to put together the last breakthrough in technologies to transfer those into innovation. That for us, one of the many, let's say, definition of innovation is something that takes the breakthrough from technologies and transfer them to something that people appreciate, that the market is even ready to pay, if you want, pay not necessarily in economic way, but really recognize that is improving the quality of life, is matching some pent-up demand and so forth. So in that part of the green part is what we more or less are doing. And we obey, I think, is very popular to each of you, including the two persons that were presenting from European Institute of Innovation and Technology. Our, let's say, light is really the knowledge triangle, in which we have to put together education, high-level education, and it is exactly what we are dealing here, with research and technologies and innovation and business. All these creates skills which are interrelated and bring to entrepreneurship. So I think we are totally in the line of what you have addressed today. And again, I'm very happy to see that most of these blocks have been considered in the project that have been presented to us. We are quite, just a few more words about our association and why I think we can say some words to comment on what has been done. We are quite active in sustainability, as very often has been indicated, the green society, green things, and so forth. And then we are quite active, let's say, inside within the community of the Sustainable Development Goals, that in Italy it's represented by the ASBIS, Italian Alliance for Sustainable Development Goals. It's quite an active, let's say, reality. I think every year we arrive second or third at the United Nations level, global, for the most active, let's say, chapters of this organizations, and in particular we are quite active in some of those, in particular those 6. So we are even, and just I finished the part on the SGI, Stati Generali. We are quite active even in the let's say standardization, because another thing that I will comment that I will do to give some consideration about what has been done, even though they are typically things that are considered a little boring, you know, norms, standards, and so forth. Even for me, as I said, I am an engineer. They are very, very important, because, you know, innovation, if it's just anarchic, is good at the beginning, because you have to have the idea free running, but at the same time, after a while, if you don't follow some rules which are internationally recognized, there is then the risk that only the big entities will win and the low one will be losing. So we are quite active in this, and we are honorary member of as well of the Italian branch of the uni standardization body, with a lot of, you can see that we are present in the circular economy, in geographic information, e-business, industry 4.0, which is Internet of Things, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and so forth. So I think that we can say something again. So this is to explain why I'm here, because in the end we have quite a high presence of senior skill in education and training, telecommunication, geospatial, blockchain, with really senior skill, really senior, but also in organization and business processes, which I would not rule out. This is probably one of my first comments. Don't underestimate the fact that in order to have a successful proposition, even the organization and the institutional aspect, the process of how to go to the market are very important in order to be successful. So what we are talking about has been said several times. I mean, even today, you know, we are in a IC-driven society, and I don't think I am saying anything new to most of you. Now, you know, with ICT, no matter the fact that at the beginning, probably in the transition to the digital jobs, there are some jobs lost of the old economy, let me call old economy, because of the fact that the ICT at the beginning reduced the amount of jobs, but in the medium long term, this is a general history that these are increasing because the pie of the goods and service production increases. So in the end, qualified jobs are needed, and whatever it is, 90%, 95%, 85% of new employment. I mean, I don't know exactly how to calculate this, but I think this is true. I mean, most of the new jobs require digital skills. So and even to create new employment opportunities. So we really need to invest, and we have already seen today some example of this, just starting from school to the education, to the not only to the really technological or coding skills, but also has been mentioned, critical thinking, design thinking, digital skills, the soft skills. I mean, this is very important, because otherwise we are remaining with the vision that we have last century. Unfortunately, I'm part of that century in which there was very vertical education, and whenever you have to do something out of these verticals, you are totally lost. So it's important really to education, digital skills, entrepreneurial skills, all linked together are very important to be put just at the beginning. And of course, we need really to think about the knowledge triangle. It's very, very important that at all the stage of the education chain, starting from the schools and then university, there is really very much attention, which luckily enough, at least in some of our countries, are really getting more importance around. Really the need of soft skills rather than only specialization skills, so that it's very important really to push to have the idea how to let's say pass from one specialization to the other with a critical thinking, some soft skills, some digital skill that put you in a position to really be ready to catch the opportunities given by the market. And what is exactly, by the way, what we are doing? We have started what we call SGI, Stati, Generali, Innovazione Academy, in which we put all the things that are substantially related to the education and training. We are implementing with some difficulties because we are not so many. As we are an association, by the way, of about 100 professionals. Let's say the real working one are maybe 20 or 30, so we are not so many, but we are even implementing a chain of mentoring that I will illustrate a little bit in a minute. We are doing open schools, in particular from the geospatial. We are really keen, and another point that I would underline, today we have seen a lot of very good presentation, which is very important to stress. To have an let's say a winning proposition, the communications is very important. This has been very often underestimated in the past. Communication is just something, is the thing. If you don't communicate, people do not know that what you are doing. And so we are specializing in this kind of things, in dissemination and popularization seminars and so forth. Just a few words about mentoring. Today has been in some part has been presented some activity in mentoring. We are implementing a 5 pillars process in which we start again with education. So again, we are totally in line with what you have done, and then we are putting in place with the aid. This is important, with a network of senior advisors, which are not necessarily only us, but we have implemented a networking architecture all over the world in a crowdsourcing mode, so that we can really give whoever needs any support in any specific field, we can support. So in the end, when we try to see together with the people, to the youngsters, what are maybe 2 or 3 important projects to be helped to go to the market. Really, we with our network, we can even try to take care of the funding opportunities, both institutional and private, so fundraising, and even accelerate if this is needed. Without experience, if you remember one of the first slides in the organizational business process. So we are putting all this in academy. For the first 3 is mostly, let's say, the academy, which knowledge, substantially technology transfers over innovation, while the part by the operations are really in the SG innovation sector. So again, this is a model that we are implementing, and we are creating a worldwide network to do this. What are the challenges? Again, I am almost, let's say, 2/3 to the conclusion. Think about the fact that now there are no borders. With internet, there are no borders. Think about how quickly we had the vaccination, the vaccines. Why? Because they were the cooperation platform, and people were talking one each other, which is an advantage. At the same time, is a challenge because there are no borders, no territory. You have just to be open to every situation. You know that very often there is what is called serendipity, cross innovation. Very often, very important things are I arrived to something else which was not exactly what I did at the beginning, but can be useful in other application of the innovation. Again, we have to pass from something which was very popular, let's say, last century or last decade or last millennium, which is the same, ego-based system. I am the guy, I am the innovating guy, I drive. No, nowadays all is a matter of ecosystem. We have to put everyone in relation. The reality is very complex, it's not linear. We have really to put in all the tools of critical design thinking. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to arrive to something which is very, very good. And I still remember, as I still remember, I was told many years ago at the management courses about the need for having a vision, be focused on some aspect that you want to implement, and be determined in doing this. Those vision, focus, and determination are really the key to success. And another thing that I was taught, it was you have to learn, you have even to earn, and then you have to give in returning for the famous ecosystem advantage. So not be close to think I have not to say anything to the other, because otherwise they steal my idea, but the contrary. You have to learn from ideas, even put into the market, even earn money, because this can incentivize you at the same time having open mind to return. And as I said, important thing, crucial roles of innovation dissemination. And this is very important. Probably is not something that is very straightforward to many people. Or maybe now with the young people it's more straightforward. It was not at my time. In general, when you do innovation, typically innovation is done by startups, small or medium enterprise, rather than large companies, but maybe even do like this. To solve, as we said at the beginning, people needs, pent-up demand again and again. Typically, when somebody needs to be convinced, the market, which can be the institution, can be a private a pension fund or whatever. Really, it's important to really communicate, to convince the market that you have not a good idea because you think it is good, but because you are convincing. And this is very important, even these patents versus Creative Commons. Now there is the shift to the fact that when in the past somebody has a good idea, she or he has to patent, which is good in some specific product, let's say industry. For the ideas, let's say the circulation of ideas is much better the Creative Commons. The fact that you take a free license, and you give free license to everybody to reuse what you are doing. Again, this is very often underestimated. I am doing a couple of projects, even for the European Commission, and I had to convince my partner that instead of putting copyright, we said Creative Commons. So I'm saying something that I was surprising myself was not customary, but is not. And then again, when you communicate your idea and you try to catch people attention, and maybe customer, and maybe whoever is your market, you have to think that the people are not specialized, and you have to use popular tools. So again, soft skill, trying to use even some multimedia things in order to get more attention and so forth, which is not necessarily my case, because I know that in a few minutes, by the way, I am almost done, so don't be afraid. I put a lot of lines in my slides, which I know is not the best thing to do, but I wanted to convey as many as let's say messages as possible. Try to be not so crowded, try to be even using cartoons or vignettes and so forth, in order to really make people laugh and maybe people interested. Creative Commons, for those who do not know, was invented by Lawrence Lessig. Is a pioneer of this kind of thing of Harvard and Stanford, now more than 20 years ago, and substantially are contracts that you can get online, in which you allow all the people not to have to transfer free of charge your right, which remain with you, but they use it at the same condition that you use it, getting others material in the net, so that you can decide which you can see on the bottom of my, those are the deeds. there are six type of contract. Again, you can, depending on the deed that you put on your documentation, and you will see in the next slide my scheme of visualization. There is the second one. You say, okay, you can use this provided that you use the same license that I'm using, that you are not commercial. You can select up to 6, which from, you see, from mostly free, so no copyright, to almost copyright, depending on the kind of the license that you select. In general, I select this attribution share alike. So you can reuse, build, use whatever. Just it's important that when you use this, you mention, you credit the fact that you take this from me, and then you don't use this for usage that were not mine. So you get free. You have to give free, not to make on payment. You see, under this is exactly my deed of my Creative Commons license. So you can use this with this license of Creative Commons. Very important, and I'm almost done. Ethics. At the end of my comments, I would put the ethics, which are really the most important, because absolutely we don't need to have any technophobia, because the quality of life is much improved. But don't underestimate the ethical issues and social responsibility. We have a lot of technology that we can even buy or develop, and the risk is being crushed if we don't put some humanistic inspiration. And it's very important, the concept of human on or in the loop, depending on the fact that whether the human is still part of the decision on supervised decision, that the algorithm, the famous or infamous algorithm, are not taking too much weight on our action. So again, ethics is not important. It's not trivial. So in particular, when the algorithm decide, even the job, the on-demand jobs and so forth, which is regulated by algorithms. So we have to really put a lot of attention to the excessive power of algorithm and platform. You may know, and at least whoever is Catholic, or I am a laicist, but I like what Pope Francis said 3 years ago now about the need for algorithms. So for an ethical approach to algorithms, which means that when the developer make a new develop a new software, try to put algorithms that are intrinsically responsible and not biased by any cognitive bias that maybe can alter, as you know surely, with machine learning, you have a lot of risk of being biased, and the results are really terrific, or can be terrific. Think even about the so-called laws, which are not the juridical norms, but the lethal autonomous weapons that are unfortunately are used in the Ukrainian war, so that really the algorithms is something specific. So is the need to be more human that business. So instead of business, which is part of the life, but even human to human is very important. Not to arrive to the old loadness. So again, now I'm using some of the tricks that I said, just to put some cartoons in order to make people smile, but at the same time reflect, because the Luddites were thinking that technology were against the jobs, and they were fighting. We are not to fight anything. I mean, we have our quality of life is improving, but ethics is very, very crucial. And for this reason, I conclude my my consideration with the importance and the reason why we have both the STEM and MESH expert. If we go only on STEM, which is totally right and totally important, because until recently, in particular with the gender gap, and I appreciate to see that there are several projects just for increasing the amount of let's say women or ladies in the ICT community. So it's important to push in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but also at least having even let's say giving importance to the ethics, sociology, media literacy, and so forth, what they call mesh. Because otherwise, we can have, as Tom Wise, which is a very popular, made a very popular 2 or 3 years ago paper on this. So, okay, we will have a very brilliant people doing a very good app without any capacity of understanding, for instance, how we can be manipulated by the technology. So important is put together both STEM but also mesh. And then, okay, if you want some word of wisdom, and I think it's a little too long, but there is a typewriter that he said that it's important to have so much enthusiasm in the things that we are doing that nobody can say whether you are working or playing. To you, you are doing both of them, and without enthusiasm, I think I'm not saying anything specifically new, but enthusiasm in addition to that, if you remember, vision, focus, and determination are really the keys of success. And try to deal with whatever you are doing with really the extremely excitement of doing something that people can think that you are working, but you are just enjoying. And I finish with a very, very nice sentence by Albert Einstein that again, even negative people are very, very often present. Very often, this cannot be done. This is impossible. This is without solution. We have already a lot of problems. Don't look for people that have a problem for every solution. And with this, really, I thank you for your attention. I hope not to have bored you too much. And here you find all my contacts detail in case you want to be in touch with me. So thank you for your attention, and I'm here, whatever you want to ask me or to finish, Norman, the conference.
Thank you very much for your intervention and tying what we said before on the more abstract level of digital competences and entrepreneurial competences to very concrete challenges and concrete problems that we are facing and that we need to tackle going forward. I think that's a very helpful approach, and it always is going from the more general to the more specific is a very good solution, and we always have to think what we're actually talking about and what are the general what are the specific problems, while also keeping in mind the general aspects and the underlying helpful aspects of the wider effects of competence frameworks in preparing us to tackle these challenges. So thank you, Fulvio. Thank you for being here. And also, again, thanks to all the speakers who have been today, and thank you to the audience. I would like to close the event now and give you a bit of a roundup of what's coming up next. The EntreComp Synergies project will continue. There's more exciting stuff coming up in the project with the Champion series. I invite you once again to join the EntreComp community, where you can continue to discuss, where you can continue to engage with us, and also further develop your ideas and bring in your input, and also learn, get some inspirations, and in exchange, two-way street. On behalf of All Digital, I would also like to invite you to the All Digital Summit in Prague next week, which we will be able to discuss further issues on digital sphere. And beyond that, we're also looking at the links from this event. So once again, please look at the exit survey that we have prepared for this event, and we're also going to come back to you. To those of you who have been part of the EntreComp for Digital Hackathon earlier this year, we're going to revisit what had been said there to see in how far we are taking lessons from there and transform them into new aspirations and new ideas. And for today, what needs to be said is thank you again for all your practices. Thank you to all the speakers, and thank you to all the audience. It has been a very impressive event. And I'm very much in awe of all your hard work and all your ideas and inspirations and your motivation and encouragement to continue working on these topics. So thank you very much. We'll be in touch, and goodbye.